There's a lot happening at this scene all at once. The utility crews are here trying to restore power. You also have the state police reconstruction team taking measurements, and a tow truck is standing by to get that bus and car out of the field. This has been an all-out assault around the clock. Right behind us, there are some firefighters getting ready to head up that mountain. This just happened a couple of minutes ago, Kim. You can see police are still trying to block off part of the street here. This is Hall Manor in Harrisburg, South 13th Street and Lowell Street. The two men set up their final drug buy in, of all places, a bathroom. The dealer hid the packets of heroin under the sink. That's where the buyer knew to get it, and both men admitted this to police. With the fire spreading to the front of the house, the family all ran to the back fire escape here and all got down. Her car is stuck. Here, I'm coming over to you. You might need some help. You're not going to be able to get through here. Oh, you got it? All right. What were you saying? What was going on?
I've been stuck at the bottom of the 13th Street exit since 8:30 this morning.
There's also evidence Jackson was hiding in this gazebo, because if he were to sit in this chair, on the left side where his hand was bleeding, there are blood stains. So it's possible he sat here and looked out and watched as the police drove around. Heat tape is electric, and when it's plugged in, the cable starts heating up. It's used to coil around water pipes to keep the pipes from freezing, but in this case, at the top, the coil was wrapped around itself. With the new stickers, all you have to do is scan the QR code with your cell phone, and that will take you to the county's weights and measures database. You plug in a few things and see how many of the store's scales passed inspection. With their apartment still smoldering behind them, the Myers family held on to what they still had.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. That's been my motto for the past 2.5 months, and I guess it's going to keep being my motto.
They haven't had an easy go, and the fire tested them again. As they were finishing breakfast in the other room this morning, the Myers toaster caught fire in the kitchen.
All I saw was orange.
Missy Myers couldn't get the fire extinguisher to work, and her husband Gene struggled to help.
It went quick.
To make things more challenging, he just lost his right leg to diabetes the day after Christmas. With the fire spreading to the front of the house, the family all ran to the back fire escape here and all got down, including Gene, who had to crawl on his stomach to get to safety.
He just did it. It just totally amazed me.
But the Myers are thanking another member of the family for their quick action.
Baby.
Josie, their dog,
Sit.
was the first to notice the fire, and her barks in the kitchen set the family's escape into motion.
The dog, she's the hero. Good girl.
Also heroes, the firefighters who went back into the house to save Gene's insulin and medicine. One less worry for the family as they stare at the big one in front of them. In West New York, Matt Barcaro, News 8. Right now, a tow truck is pulling that school bus out of the field. The Cumberland Valley School District told us 32 students were on board that bus when it crashed into a car. By the time she realized what was going on in front of her, it was too late.
The bus was going really fast, and I knew it was just going to be a disaster.
Ann Hughes happened to pull up to the intersection of Trindle and North Locust Point Roads right when she says a school bus full of teenagers blew through its stop sign, T-boned a car, and then barreled into a utility pole, ripping it from the ground.
All of a sudden, the poles are down, the wires are dropping everywhere.
Hughes, who was a nursing assistant, ran over to the bus to help. She says the students on board from Cumberland Valley High School and Eagle View Middle School were all on their phones and appeared to be okay. The coroner tells News 8 2 students were taken to the hospital, one with a nosebleed and another with a minor head injury. The front passenger in the car died instantly, and the coroner says 3 other people in the car had to be cut out by firefighters. One of them tonight described as being in bad shape at the hospital.
It's not easy to see. It's not easy to know that somebody just passed away.
As for the power situation, the accident knocked out power to about 400 people, but now it's down to a little over 100, and PPL expects those people will be getting power back on soon. Every morning, like clockwork,
Hi, may I help you?
the cars line up, the coffee gets to brewing, and breakfast is served.
Guest 280?
But this is not every morning, and this
I'm excited for him.
is not going to be just any breakfast.
Something exciting is going to happen.
For years now, Monica, Judy, and all the other workers at this Gettysburg McDonald's have made friends with their customers,
Here you go.
and 2 in particular,
Every day we look forward to seeing their face.
who come every morning
They are sweet to everybody.
like clockwork.
Thank you.
And so when they found out the couple is celebrating 62 years of marriage, they decided a basic breakfast would not do.
It's like we're all a family here, and like they've came in and they've joined us.
Hi.
And when Don and Joanne arrived,
Welcome.
they didn't know what to think,
It's something special for you.
and soon realized their ordinary morning routine would be anything but ordinary.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Wow.
The Hinks had a table reserved for them,
You brighten our morning every day.
complete with candlelight,
Can't believe this.
and the same breakfast they order every morning. Eggs and a Coke for her, a biscuit and coffee for him.
I don't think they have any customers that are any more loyal than 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year.
And throughout all those breakfasts, all those years, what do they talk about? Well, not that much, but they spend the time together.
We just enjoy that.
And that's what's made this usually happy meal even happier.
Congratulations on your 62 years. Many, many more.
Thank you.
In Gettysburg, Matt Barcaro, News 8.
A News 8 investigation. When Governor Wolf suspended all future executions, he made it clear that he won't decide anything further until he hears from a task force that's been studying the death penalty.
But News 8's Matt Barcaro is finding that people involved in that task force so far have little to show him.
Is this what you expected?
Not at all.
As Lancaster County's victim advocate,
Not at all.
Pam Grosh can sense an urgency to the death penalty debate at the state capitol. But a lack of progress in one of her biggest projects to date on the issue has become, in her words, mystifying.
And it seemed as though it would take a long time, not years.
She and nearly 30 other citizens, prosecutors, judges, death penalty critics, priests, and others, were picked to form a committee and study the death penalty process and its effects in Pennsylvania. A final report of recommendations from a Senate task force was due by law a year and a half ago, but there is still no report. Senator Dalen Leach is co-chair of the task force.
Completion date, I find, on these things when you first establish them is more aspirational than anything else. The more important thing, rather than getting it done in a rushed way, is to get it done right.
He says some of the research is still not finished.
If it were up to me, we would have had all the information in a much more timely manner. There were some issues with that.
So News 8 looked into it. We talked with the Penn State professor in charge of compiling data on thousands of murder convictions for the committee. He said finding the records and reading them alone took 2.5 years. During that time, he believes the committee could have been working on its own, but we found the committee simply stopped meeting.
There's definitely a lack of urgency.
Dauphin County DA Ed Marsico, who was on the committee, could not remember the last time it met.
The intentions are good, but the practicality is frustrating.
News 8 obtained a list of dates when the committee has met. While there have been 15 conference calls recorded, the most recent was more than a year ago, April 10th, 2014. And the last time any of the committee members met in person officially, almost 2 years ago.
Yes, I am impatient. Yes, I think that it should be moving. Yes, I think it's one of the top priorities that I think we're looking at and the governor is looking at.
Jean Bickmeyer, a committee member and death penalty critic in Lancaster, said she feels pressure knowing Governor Wolf is waiting on them to make recommendations.
You have a lot weighing on it. You have people's lives weighing on it.
And Pam Grosh echoed what many on the committee are now wondering.
What are we waiting for?
So whether it was because we started asking questions or not, the task force is now planning on meeting later this month. Senator Leach says he hopes to have that final report finished by the end of the year, but committee members we talked with said that sounds like a stretch. Ron and Kim.